We are live, Miss Margo.
Hello, Miss Debbie. I know. I feel like I'm on Broadway. It is. The sun is shining where I am as well. It's not nearly as warm as where you are, but
I was going to say your temperature is a little bit. People make fun of me because I always ask what the weather's like, and yeah, because I think it's important to know what the weather's like and wherever you are. I think that's important. Kind of tells you what's going on, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, exactly. So, okay, so here I was just going to see.
Yes, I'm on an island off of Seattle, and it is the skies are blue, which is infrequent here in the winter, but it's
so while we're waiting for everyone to get on, tell everyone where you live. You live on an island off the coast of Washington.
I do. In the Puget Sound, which is in between the Olympic Peninsula and the rest of the Washington. I live on an island called Vashon Island, and you have to take a ferry to get here. It's the lowest island in the Sound, and it's the size of Manhattan, but there's 11,000 people, so it's very rural. And I was in Seattle today at a doctor's appointment, and it's not like it's hard to get around, but you have to commit to the boat, so you're kind of at the mercy. They take a lunch break, so the last ferry over from West Seattle was 11:30 or the 1:15. So let me tell you, I drove like.
They take a lunch break and the ferry stops?
Oh, yes.
Oh, my goodness. Yes. That's what you call rural, kids. That's what you call rural. Unbelievable. Well, whether people are watching live or watching the recording, we're so pleased you're here. I'm Debbie Saviano, for those of you who might not know, and I'm here to welcome my dear friend, Margo I. So excited to have this today, what we're going to do. Now, we're going to talk about events and maximizing events. And so while we're kind of waiting, if people would put in, I'm looking at my phone and my computer, but where they are and if they've ever been to Alt Summit or if they're going to Alt Summit. Margo is a seasoned attendee. How many years has it been going on, Margo?
I believe I might have this all wrong. I think it was 2008 was the first one. Wow. And the first time I attended, it was still in Salt Lake City, and that was 2013. And I felt like I was way behind the times, but it started out as a blogger conference, and it was very much geared towards people who were blogging still at that time. I remember the first one I went to, there was a lot of monetization was just starting. So there was a lot of talk about that and great keynote speakers. And, Lisa Congdon's been a keynote speaker. Joanna Gaines has been a keynote speaker.
Oh, wow.
Oh my gosh, I just had his name in my mind. Ben Silberman, who started Pinterest, was a keynote speaker. So they don't mess around.
Yeah, those are big dogs.
Yeah. And I found it very interesting that first year. And then took a few years off and didn't go back until 2019. So anyway, I'm expanding on your question.
No, that's great though. That's good. Well, this is my first time, as we'll explain to y'all, but it's just like, it's so cool because I've heard about it for years. Heard about it from Joe Packham, heard about it from Margo, and I bought my ticket last March, and they sell out. What do you think? 3 months in advance? Well, Margo froze there just a tiny bit. We'll let Margo's internet get popped back up. I hope that's just Margo and not me. Hi, Debbie. Hi, Kath. So Debbie is here in North Texas area, and Kath is from Phoenix. It's going to be her second alt event.
Hello.
There you are. Come on, you're coming on back. You froze. Okay, keep going.
Yes, I did. Sorry, there's an electrician here, and he just turned off the Wi-Fi. So.
Oh my gosh. So, can you?
So
okay, there you are.
Anyway, sorry. Where were we?
It's always something. Technology, right? It's always something. Are you okay on the internet now?
I think so. I just hotspotted to my phone real quick. So you're frozen for me, but I can hear you fine.
Okay. I tell you, I always tell people we have to be charged. We have to be connected. If we've got that, we've got everything else. So it usually rains when I'm doing a live, which is not today because it's so pretty and sunny outside. But so let me tell y'all how this got started. Margo and I are going to Alt. And so we started talking about how can we take advantage of the event, meeting people, building relationships, etc. And so this is for creatives and very creatives, as Margo is telling a minute ago, which I'm so pumped about. But we wanted to figure out what we were brainstorming ways to do different things and how we could connect and build those relationships before the event. Because a lot of times people wait till the event or after, but we want to do it before. And so the first thing we decided on is so cool. Margo, why don't you talk about that? Because you did this little beauty and it's just so cool. It's 12 pages. So Margo, tell them about it.
Yeah, you know, I think we both just brainstormed and thought, what might people need? And, you know, some of these events that go on are just part of the stream of consciousness of whoever's putting them on people paying attention to it as it's being sold or as it's getting close to happening. So this is a good example of this. Their social media it's not a full-time all year thing. It just kind of ebbs and flows. So I was thinking, or we both were thinking, hey, what about you know, we're going to a place that we're flying
Palm
somewhere.
Springs,
Everybody's
Palm
well, not
Springs.
everybody, you know, people are flying in, right? We make that would be helpful for people. And what I did was put together restaurants that are close to the venue and fund restaurants and the best cup of coffee, things like that. Cool little boutiques that are small and interesting, you know, maybe owned by the person who's sitting there. Things you might want to see. There's a cactus garden that's been run by the same family for 2 and a good hike, some things like that. So a great museum, things you might have time for in the evening or things like that. The antiques, of course. And then if you are spending a day or two extra and you might be going up to Joshua Tree or that area, I put some favorite not to miss things up there on there too. And this comes from, I had never been to Palm Springs before I went to Alt Summit. I'm a California girl and I'd never been. I had definitely some favorite things, but I deep dove into things, reviews and all sorts of stuff. So it's a big fat document for anybody going to Palm Springs or going to Alt Summit and the area who wants to know where to go. Everything's linked online, and you can see the website and the Instagram account, and their address is on there too. So plenty to keep.
That's cool. I'm sorry. The thing that was cool about this is we decided, should we ask for their email addresses? Do we not ask for their email addresses? We decided not to, because we just wanted to give something. And so, you know, it depends on what your preferences are. You obviously could ask for an email address, but we decided just to give it away and to be helpful to people. So we know we'll make connections that way. But it's 12 pages. And Margo just told me before we started that we did an Instagram live here saying some people gave her some more restaurants to add. So she'll add to that. But think about when you're doing an event yourself or you're going to an event, this is a cool thing to do. The first one is to create a document like this to share with people. Because you know what it's like, you go somewhere and you get there like, oh, I wish I would have checked this out or that out, but you didn't know to check it out. So we've kind of given them a head start with that. And so the second thing, based on that, we just kept going with the conversation of what we could do. Obviously, people take business cards. Sometimes people don't take business cards, whatever. But we have a postcard that's got a QR code in the center that will take you to that link. And then it's just a really fun. It stays within the branding and everything, and it'll take you to the link that Margo just talked about. So again, that'll be our business card. So didn't you say, Margo, there's a place where people can put their business cards up, like post them or something? Or did I dream that?
Yeah, there's kind of a magnet board, and people just cover it with their business cards, and that's kind of a tradition. This alt. Where people really go all out with the business cards and things, but it's such a great resource. I always go up and take pictures and or find who's here. So we just thought that would be, I mean, what we created was, it's not salesy, it's not pushy, it's helpful, hopefully. So we want to give out these cards and have an easy way for people to circle back and find that information.
It'll be cool because, again, it's different, a little bit more unique, because, you know, there's a lot of pressure here, y'all. These are really creative people. Margo, that's her world, not my world so much. So we're, you know, everything we were talking about, what we could do, we got to understand that how many people are there that are creatives. And so tell them about the pen, because we took it to the next level.
Yeah.
Also, first one was the
we thought, you know,
then the postcard, and now
Debbie's got a. Yeah, sorry, my internet. I think I'm just a little behind it. So you have a picture on the line for the event. So we thought, what could we wear to have people ask about us or give out? And so I made a little, you know, those old little badges. Just a little one with, again, the QR code in the middle. It's really tiny, but I checked it. And it works. And it just says, have fun, hope you have a great time while you're here. And it's, again, the same branding. And it was so easy. There's, it's very easy to get those badges made. And before we pack our suitcases to go, and we can, it's a conversation starter, which is always a good thing to have when you go to something where you don't know a lot of people, but you'd like to leave with more connections.
And Margo, tell them how many people usually go, because kind of give a picture of what Alt Summit is, because yeah, just kind of give a picture. How many people? And
yeah. And there were a few hundred. And now I think it's kind of, for a while, it was at 3 different hotels in Palm Springs. Moved from Salt Lake City to Palm Springs. And twice they had it, I think just twice, they had it in New York City too, a one-day event at a different time of year. But now it's back to one hotel. So, oh gosh, are there 500 to 1,000 people?
That's a lot.
And I'm not exactly sure. It's a lot. And I would say it's probably more around 500 with it being at this one hotel this time, but it's sold out. And you could pretty much guarantee that anybody you cross paths with, you'd find interesting. Now, it's a creative conference, but it's not like it's a bunch of artists necessarily. It's people who are entrepreneurially living their life. So there might be people that are working in tech who are working on, I don't know, AI things, or all sorts of different, Adobe Suite things, which are things like Photoshop, and, the behind the scenes. You actually meet the people creating and inventing and spearheading these things. Or it might be a lawyer that creative clients, or small women entrepreneurs or women-led businesses. It might be an educator, a teacher who has an online platform that it might be moms who have done craft kits for kids or meal kits. It might be writers who are looking that you can build a whole team here. Last year there were writers and admins and selling on Amazon, and people, paint, it just, you name it. And that's what the fun thing is about. And it's refreshingly diverse too. I want to say there's you look around the room and not everybody looks the same, which makes me very happy. Because you just continue to expand your circle of connection, and anything you go to like this, it's worth it for that. I mean, we thought of a way or 2 or 3 to start some conversations.
And to your point, Margo, that's what it's all about, because you want to be able to build relationships.
Yeah. And you had some good ideas on how to use social media to talk about what we were doing, to post about it and things like that. Share some of those ideas.
And so keep in mind, everything that we're sharing is stuff you could do for your own event or event you're going to. But, obviously social media, Margo's world's Instagram. She's very, very, she has her own podcast, and she's very creative when it comes to Instagram. Me, not so much, but LinkedIn's my baby. Okay. So we were thinking about things to do in both spaces, but Alt Summit has an app. And so in the app, they've got a message board. So you can go in and create a cool image of yourself, whatever, and then everyone can post the message board. So you can meet people there before you ever get there, which is really cool. A lot of them are newbies. A lot of them have been there, since the beginning, whatever, the inception. But so we're doing post in different things. This live was the first thing, obviously, but then to go into the message board and to take it to the next step. Also with social media, all the speakers, people who alt is listed on their website, if you will, we've reached out and connected with those speakers prior to going, which I think sometimes people forget to do. And it gives you a great opportunity because you meet people and it's like, oh, I met her before. And so that's a cool way to maximize the social media, but to post, to comment, to share, but to reach out to connect with people. If their name is on that Alt Summit schedule, if you will, we've tried really hard to connect with all those people. And people are very open and very, again, we've sent a message, hi, my first time at Alt Summit, I'm looking forward to being there. I can't wait to hear you speak, whatever. But people have really responded to that and been very open. We had hoped to have 2 guests on here today. They could show up, but chances are not. One is in France. And we thought she'd have internet over there where she is, but she's doing some classes, Lori Siebert. And then Mandy was afraid she was still going to be on the plane. And so both of them will be at Alt Summit. Both of them are very creative, very innovative, great ladies. But Lori is in France, and Mandy, and I don't know where Mandy was flying back from or to. I don't remember. She just said she was
went
there.
So. I just saw in her stories. Yeah. But those 2 are an example of people who just went for the first time last year and just made so many connections. Lori ended up doing the T-shirts, Lori and her daughter, I should say, and those graphics are what Alt is using on their social media. So it's, you can really, it's just about networking.
Absolutely. Well, and this is one of the
Kathy
shirts.
Says everyone is open and friendly.
Absolutely. That's what I'm looking at. And we've seen that, just like I said, Margo's been, but I haven't. But just in the interactions we've had thus far, that's so obvious. This is one of the shirts. Of course, I chose the black and white, but I think they had about 5 or 6 choices that you could purchase that they had there. And so obviously I wanted the black and white, but that's a good thing to talk about, Margo. Let's talk about the clothes, because if you go to Alt Summit and you look it up, you're going to see some extremely creative attire. And so it's
a little daunting.
Yeah.
I should have my new boots out here so I could grab them and show you too. It's people really, it's a playful, colorful,
very
express
colorful.
Yourself kind of permission is granted there. And so people just wear the most fun clothes. And on Monday night, there's a garden party by the pool. They have a different theme every year. And this year it's floral dresses and floral things like that, which I haven't. Just everybody puts it on. And I just, one of the gals, Britta Tabor, who will be speaking at Alt this year. It was one of her first last year. It was her first time. And I remember I was standing by the side of the pool and I looked across and there's this woman who was just owning her physicalness. Like she had this beautiful flowy dress on. I wish I could look that confident. I wish I could feel as confident as she looks. That's what I meant. And we ended up, chatting a lot and have kept in touch after. But she was like, oh my gosh, I didn't know what to think. And I just, that was her way of feeling confident, is to dress that way. So it's just really fun because you can come as you are. It doesn't really matter. You'll see everything, but people do bring the fun.
I'm looking forward to the floral thing. Of course, I have to figure it out because I only wear the black and white. So I do have a touch of red sometimes. So maybe I could be poppies or something. But I saw that the floral thing was the big deal. We're also, go ahead.
Flowers can be in black and white.
I know. Well, mine will be, right? And so we're also putting the image on our phones. So when we're out, because I'm sure we're going to run out. I mean, you take several hundred, but if you run out, then we'll have the QR code on our phone. Always a backup, because the intent is to get everyone to the link that's right there, that people can go and download that copy, if you will. And so that's a cool thing. As far as now, Britta, she did a really cool thing on Reels. Is that what she did on? Was Britta, didn't Britta do Reels on Instagram? So tell them what she did, Margo. It was so cool.
She did. She is a fashion, what does she call herself? She's over at over 50, she's decided, oh, I could do this thing. So she works with small boutiques to model their clothes on Instagram, but she doesn't just model them. She does this great thing. She has it all sorted out where she does this little shimmy, and she's kind of standing often in front of her two kind of, it's like in her closet with amazing shoes on either side, all organized, all colors. And she'll hold something up, you know, like a shirt, and she does this little shimmy and whoop, and
she's wearing it
of a reel. And then she's wearing it. So she did that with the alt t-shirts, several different iterations of outfits. And she's just so stinking cute. Yeah. So
now this is a good
we have a lot there's a lot of ideas floating around.
We'll have to, when we on LinkedIn, we'll go back and put this link, and we'll also put Britta's Instagram. Do you want to address this?
Yeah,
question.
There is a dot card is what Kath is asking. Was it you, Kath, that used one last year? Somebody had one last year. I felt like a dot card, and I haven't looked it up for a while, but it's something where you can go somewhere else to get all the information, right? Am I right? I forget. I was thinking about it last year, and I haven't thought about it again.
The only thing I'm familiar with is the electronic, but I'm not sure that's what she's talking about. Tell us what that is, Kath, what the dot card is.
Oh, that's right. That's right. It's one card. I think Kath had it. It's one card, and you keep hold of it, and then you transfer your information to that person's phone or whatever. I love the creativity that comes along with the cards that people make. So no, I haven't used a dot card, but I know there were there last year, and
I've used it several times.
Very interesting too. Again, it's a conversation starter. You have used them?
Yeah, I have used them. Yeah, several times actually. And the interesting thing is, depending on the audience, sometimes younger people don't like business cards because you're killing trees. And so it's interesting the different levels of ages, if you will. And so a lot of younger people will use those, especially because it's a one card, it's electronically transferred, et cetera, et cetera. So, but no, I have. And she's right. It links all your social. It does everything. It's just like in one fell swoop. It puts it all together. Again, the beauty of technology of what you can do.
It's a good idea.
Yeah.
It takes a lot. I'm glad you reminded me about that. Yeah, I'll have to look into that too, because that would be very.
It's funny. I don't remember it being called that. I'll have to look that up because I don't remember the dot. So I need to look that up and get a visual on it, because what I've had and what Stacy and I have used, and Linda, it's a metal card kind of, and they just take a picture, then everything just automatically uploads to their phone. Here's the challenge with that. The challenge with that is, yes, it uploads unless it's changed, and Cass are better now, but you then have to remember who you uploaded. So what I always did was take a screenshot as soon as they uploaded. So I'd have it to go back to, because otherwise I would forget. I think the last one that we did was at Liberty University. Well, there were hundreds of people we shared contact information with. Well, I couldn't remember all those people, but I did screenshots. That's how I remembered. Because otherwise, because like on my phone, I'll put in a picture. Like for Palm Springs, I'll probably put a cactus next to people's name, and that way I can always just search for the cactus. Now, this is interesting. She says you can design the landing page. I need to look that up because that's a little bit different than what we were doing. So I think this is different from that. We're also planning a coffee meetup, something to physically to have people come to. Now, sometimes does. They haven't done it yet, but they might. But
yeah, you can. There's a cutoff date to apply to be a speaker at Alton. There's a lot of ways to show up there. There's speakers. There's like long form speakers. There's short ones. There's roundtable discussions. You can be at an expert table. There's all sorts of things. And they had so many people. They had 900 people apply to that. This will tell you how many people are going. They had 900 people, and they only have space for, 89 people or something like that. So in years past, and I haven't seen it yet, right towards the end, right about now, they say, is anybody interested in doing a meetup? And they'll pick like 5 or 6 meetups for 3 different nights or 3 different times. and have it out by the pool. So it's another chance to say, yes, I want to do a meetup on, here's a few, people from the Pacific Northwest, illustrators and artists, people who have podcasts, women over 50. Like there's all sorts of different things like that you go and think like, oh, hey, I want to pop in and see, put my eyeballs on this group of people to see who I might have something in common with in this way. So that's kind of brilliant too. I hope they do it again this year, but I haven't seen that come out yet. But again, if you're thinking of going somewhere, you're planning an event, it's a great little add-on to get people connecting.
I started doing this, I don't know, probably, I swear time, probably 7-8 years ago. Corner Bakery, which is their corporates here in Dallas, and they were having what they call corner meetups. And they had the hashtag and everything. And they'd reached out to me to see if I wanted to do it. So basically, when I traveled, I remember I did one in Phoenix. I did one in different cities. I would just go online and say, I'm going to do a corner meetup at this corner bakery. I never had less than, I don't think I ever had less than 9 or 10 people show up. And sometimes I knew them and sometimes I didn't know them. But it was so cool because it was at a corner bakery. They were showcasing because it was, it was a great promo for them as well. But that's why Margo and I thought we'll do a coffee meetup somewhere, maybe at the hotel where we're at, maybe another place. I don't know. But sometimes it's just thinking outside the box like that. It doesn't have to cost you anything. You have everybody do their own coffee, or you can buy.
Yeah, I love that idea. I just think outside the box. You're coming here to network and meet people. How can you set up more opportunities as you go? And again, that whole, like, we could have done all this in trade for an email or something like that. Right. But we both figured that our names and our links to our sites are at the bottom of every page. If somebody thinks this is interesting and they want to know who we are, they're going to go anyway and check it out.
And speaking of that, Margo, that's a good point, because I think sometimes people think everything has to be the same. On mine, it's to my LinkedIn page. Yeah. It's to my LinkedIn profile. To Margo, it's to her website. But again, it doesn't have to be your website. It could be, but I live in LinkedIn, so that's where I want mine to go to. So think about where I always call it the anchor. Where do you want people to come see you at? And Margo has a phenomenal podcast, Windowsill Chats. If you haven't listened to it, you must. We'll put that in LinkedIn later in the comments. But she has a phenomenal podcast where she interviews people, and it's really cool to listen to. So she wants them to go back to her website. I want them to go to my LinkedIn profile. So just think about where you want to send them to get to know more about you. And speaking of that, if you're not connected to each other here, make sure you do connect to the people that are on the live, as well as Margo and I. If we're not connected on LinkedIn, on Instagram and stuff, because obviously, that's kind of how we continue conversations, if you will. Does anyone have any ideas of what they would do that we haven't talked about? Maybe. Love to hear it if you do. Because yesterday when Margo and I were talking again, every time we talk about, we can do this and do this and do this. We've got 3 things planned for the next thing that we do, because you got to have time to get some of it together. But yeah, for sure. I don't see anybody show anything there. But again, maybe put in the comments.
It's just fun to brainstorm those things, because we could have, oh gosh, you know who I met the very first year is Emily McDowell, and Emily has gone on to have a very successful card line, and she's written a book or two. Anyway, I met her the first Alt Summit I attended because she had a scarf on that she had to, and not people, everybody wasn't doing scarves, and it was a map of something. And I was looking for that's what I was looking for. So I was like, oh my gosh, who did your scarf? And she said, I did. And she wore it the whole time. And it was a little bit of an advertisement, for her creative ventures. And we got to talking, and there's just so many opportunities like that if you're going to do something. And I read something else on Instagram. Somebody had this super cute, colorful, floral one-piece jumpsuit. Now, you might not wear that in your town or to pick up the kids or to the grocery store or whatever, because you just want to be who you're expected to be. But Alt or another conference is an opportunity to wear that. And this woman had said, I got so many comments, and people were coming up to me the whole day saying, where'd you get that? I love it. You look amazing. So the back to the close again, it's an opportunity for conversation. It's really
absolutely fun. It's interesting. You made me think about something, Margo. When I forget, there's 2 or 3 conferences I've done this at. These were events I was going to, and so I printed up little cards and I said, if you want to learn more about LinkedIn first impressions, I'll be in the hall at 3 o'clock, whatever. One time we actually had to move because I probably had 50 people who came in, no microphone, no nothing. I mean, we're literally just standing there doing it. But that's a cool way to get to do it too. What can you share that you may not think about, but they could be of great benefit to someone else? I was picking Margo's brain yesterday about stories and reels because, again, I've done them, but you know, this much, and she lives there, and so it's a great way to share your expertise. But literally, they were just little bitty cards I passed out, and what happened by the end of the conference, people were asking when I was going to do it again, and I had run out of cards, and so that was I totally forgot about that. I can still see that back hallway though. There were literally almost
full of people
in there to hear. I didn't have a microphone or anything, so it was a way to, yeah, that we need to think about that, Margo.
Well, you know what? That's if they do put a call out for these gathering groups, that would be a good one. People, it's those little niche kind of things that you're like, oh, I would love to learn about that in 20 minutes.
And that's what it was. They were like 15-minute things I gave from 3 to 5 tips on something. It was literally 15 minutes. And then people who wanted to ask questions could stay around. But I have a microphone that I wear and it hooks into my phone. My phone's like a microphone. I didn't have that then, but I have it now. We'll bring that to Palm Springs, Margo.
That's great.
Just as a backup.
And I had another thought and now I lost it, but it was something.
See, all the thoughts keep coming, y'all.
Yeah, I know they do. They do keep coming. But I just think it's really, I know. I was going to do a reel about based on, and pull some images from the different places that I have that we have in the document and do a reel about and showing some of those with their names, tag everybody. And it'll take a minute to build, but we can use it again and again.
Absolutely.
And I'll we'll repost it. And
that's to your point, make sure you use the right hashtags, whatever if it's your event, obviously, but get the hashtag that the event is using and make sure you use those. The speakers who are speaking, we'll do a lot with that because if you post it for them, they're going to reshare it because you've done the work for them, right?
Yeah.
Plus, it's a lot more authentic when you're the one posting and bragging about something. There's some really cool people speaking here, which is true of every event that you're at there. So let me see here. So Maura says, when I go to craft events, I wear pieces, jewelry made by different makers. I always make sure I remember their names. Great point. On Friday, I went to the exhibition of Ruth and Craft Center wearing my best stuff. The staff asked me who I was wearing, took their details from me. And when I got home, I contacted the maker so they can send promo materials to the shop and exhibition staff. Perfect.
And that's not a small, that Ruth and Craft Center. That's a big deal, Moira. I love that so much. It is so cool. Like, when we go into an Instagram, we see a picture and we're like, I wonder where she got that coat or those earrings or something like that. I love, and that it's all about those connections. You just did both parties a favor, I think that's so great. I can't see the comments because for some reason, and I hope it's working out because I can't, you're not moving.
No, you answered that perfectly.
Yeah, I love that.
I'm trying to think if I just had a brain warp here. I think I did.
You know what I was going to say too? Follow along. So Alt Summit is May. We're not in May yet. March 17th through the morning it's the evening of the 17th through the morning of the 20th. So if you want to kind of see what's going on, go to Alt Summit Instagram. They'll have their stories, but Debbie and myself will be posting, and you'll just see kind of the rabbit hole as it does. You'll see other people in other posts and things like that, and you can just kind of be a fly on the wall. And it's really a remarkable conference. I'd say that it's grown so much since I first went, and in really good ways. Yeah,
Debbie,
everybody's welcome.
Oh, here's Debbie right here. I was on my phone looking at it. Let's see what Debbie was saying. My number one event tip I tell people that you taught all of us is figuring out where the event is posting their updates and who follows them. And that's a great reminder, Debbie, because the hotel, the restaurants, all these things that Margo, that we've got in this handout, you want to tag those people because you want to give them credit for, you know, people going there. Plus, and this is something we talked about yesterday that we'll do next time, there's a lot that can be done here with sponsors, y'all. A lot. And we're gonna do that next time. But
yeah, we had some ideas yesterday. We keep going.
And if you see specific people you want to connect with, comment there on the event page, but also reach out to them on LinkedIn and connect there too. And that is so important because continue the conversations with LinkedIn, Instagram, but wherever they are. And everybody's at different places. So you want to, you know, find out. That's why Margo and I started reaching out to speakers and stuff. That's been a month ago. We started reaching out because they posted who they were. And
it's really fun because you can say, oh, I loved that shot of the, you know, charcuterie board you did on Instagram or whatever. You know, I followed you on LinkedIn, and your resume is so interesting, or, you know, what are you doing now kind of thing. It's just, it's great. Cause then, you know, like you said, Debbie, you put a little cactus next to her, you know, you kind of have a way of collecting them, but you're the best at really expanding your circle of community by just starting before you even get there.
Speaking of cactus, so this cute little shirt, it's got cactus, right? Oh, right there. So I should go on the board, message board, and I should say, who makes jewelry with cactus? I bet you, to Maura's point, someone in that group makes cactus jewelry. I could buy it from them versus buying from someone I don't know, because I need a pair of cactus earrings to go with my shirt. And they don't have to be black and white. They can be colorful. They can be colorful. Go outside the box.
I'm sure there will be some.
So that's a cool way too. Well, this has been so much fun. We appreciate everybody coming and joining us. And like I said, we'll put some links in the comment section when we get off. Forgive me, y'all. I have a cold, allergies. I don't know, something. But we're looking forward to it. Like Margo said, we'll be posting. We'll be doing, sharing all kinds of stuff. But if you're not familiar with Alt Summit, go look it up on Instagram and see the cool stuff. And so colorful. So it's just gorgeous.
The woman who started it, Gabrielle, her Instagram is Design Mom, and she and her family of, I think there's 6 kids. There might be 8, 6 or 8, 6, 8. They've been really fun to follow along with. They've lived in France off and on more than once, and they were making little really interesting movies before it was you were able to do it with your phone. Just such a creative family. Hello, Portland.
Hello, Portland.
So that's who really originally started this. And now one of her daughters, Olive, who also lives in Paris and works in film, but she comes and it's just this great, it's generational. Everybody kind of loves on each other. It doesn't matter how old you are, what you do, or anything. It's a unique opportunity to just experience people and what they do.
Originally, Margo and I, the way this all started is Margo and I were going to rent a house, a B&B, a Verbo, whatever, a house that we could have people come in and do some things. Well, I don't think we waited that long, but anyway, we couldn't find one. And so we'll have to do that next time and do it a little bit quicker. But that's another thing that's cool to do is it could be a hotel room. It could be anything, but again, invite people in for different reasons. Be to make something. It could be to share stories. It can be anything, right? It's all about the relationship.
It's fun. You know what, Debbie, we'll have to jump on after and do like just a little wrap up, because this is your first year going, and I would love to hear your point of view on all these things.
I can't
how
wait.
It all worked, you know?
So I'm so pumped because I've seen the pictures. I've heard you talk about it, and it's just like, I can't wait. Like I said, I've already started trying to figure out what clothes I'm wearing. And I'm so glad they told us about the florals and the garden thing.
I hit Poshmark right before, and I went to the post office today, and there were 5 boxes from Poshmark. So,
You should have brought the shoes to show us.
I should. They're in the closet. Cooper, my son, was like, "What are those?" they're big clunky boots, but they're light blue, kind of patent leather on top. I will tell you, it's just something I wouldn't wear to the grocery store.
But those of you that know Margo won't be surprised by this. But those of you who don't know Margo, this is Margo. You always dress so creatively, and Margo and I met at our Biz Jam 3 years ago in Philadelphia. Right?
Yep.
We were both speakers there. And I remember looking at her clothes thinking, my God, that's so cool. I wish I could wear that. I mean, just gorgeous.
I'll have to pull out the carrot dress and bring it.
It was. So if you look at that, if you get the download, the little picture on there was done for us by Martha Collins, right? When Martha Collins?
Yes.
She sketched us when we were speaking, and that's what Margo's wearing. Of course, you won't be surprised I'm wearing black and white, but Margo's got on a really cool outfit. So you have plenty of clothes to wear to this. I'm the one that's got to figure out how to do it. But it's a challenge. I love it. I'm going to do it.
You know, for the first time last year, I brought jeans and just wore one day, just wore jeans and a really bright, fun shirt and this big scarfy thing. You can get away with all of that. It was just a comfortable, fun day. And there's always opportunity for headshots. I don't know if you realize this, Debbie, but there's at least 2 people taking pictures gratis.
Oh, no, I didn't.
That you can have after. And I think one is in the comments section on the new app that you can book for now. And the other one, follow me when we get there, because you have to just like wait and sign up for this guy. And he is so good. So there's opportunities like that too. You have to make sure you're kind of together in case somebody's, taking pictures.
Fun. I got to look that up. Well, bless everyone. Thank y'all for stopping by and joining us for this. And Margaret, I've had so much fun and appreciate it. And everyone have a blessed rest of the day. Wherever you are in the United States, we've got people from all over the country.
Oh,
so that's
yeah,
awesome.
There's England here too. Moira's here. So.
Oh, it's England. So it's what? I've been watching poor Kate. She had her surgery. Hoping she's all right. Well, that's not how you say her name. It's Princess Catherine.
That's right. She's up to the ante now.
Yeah. People get real frustrated with you when you're online. You say Kate because that's she's Princess Catherine. So
my old friend Kate.
She's a beautiful girl. God, she's a beautiful woman. She's so pretty. But anyway, thank you, y'all. Appreciate everybody being here.
Enjoy your day, and some of you we'll see in a couple weeks.
Yes, can't wait. Take care, y'all. Thanks, Margo.
Bye, Debbie. Thanks.
Bye.